Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to another miraculous episode, number 96 of The Limelight. I'm your host Fareen here, and today on the hot seat, we have a very sweet personality. She's a blogger, freelance writer, and currently she's working in an international school in Riyadh. So, listeners, please welcome our guest, Andrea Miranda.
Hello, Andrea. How are you doing today?
Hey Fareen, I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
I am doing good, and it's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you, Fareen, and thank you for giving me this opportunity actually.
No problem at all. Whatever I heard from you, it was really moving and it really touched me. And I hope our listeners, go ahead and hear to your story and what you do.
I'm really happy to be on your show and I would love to share my experience with all the listeners.
That is lovely, dear. Okay, so before we talk about all that, can you tell our listeners about yourself?
Like you said, my name is Andrea and I hail from a small town in Mangalore and I have my MBA in HR and I had a career in human resources. That was like 10 years back, and I had to quit my job at the peak of my career because, frankly, because of two things. That is, one, to attend to my children, and two, to pursue my passion for writing. Currently, I work for an international school in Riyadh, and I feel this gives me enough space to, spend time with my children and follow my dreams. So that's something about me in short.
That is so sweet and lovely, and I pray that God blesses you and your family with all the health and happiness in life.
Thank you, Farid. Much needed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear. So, I'm very excited to ask you this. Can you tell us about the miracle you had in your life?
Yes, there is something that I would love to share with you and all the listeners. And this is a miracle that is directly related to me, my life. Like the saying goes, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And I'm ever so grateful for the gift of my life, which for my parents probably was a distant dream. Let me get into the flashback. It was RT Amvasi time in Mangalore, and I guess my mom was around 7 months pregnant. Suddenly, she developed these pains at around 1 in the night, and it was pouring heavily and dark night, typically a Amavasya night in Mangalore, and there
Mm-hmm.
was not a soul on the road. My mom stays in Urba in Mangalore, and the closest was the Butts nursing home, which was like 20 minutes walk from my home. So
Mm-hmm.
my mom tells me that she, along with my grandma, set to literally drag themselves to the hospital on foot in the midst of a thunderstorm, typically
Oh my
out of
God.
a scary movie. Yes. My mom tells me they had to cross the graveyard, Christian burial place. And my mom was
Mm-hmm.
telling me that she was very, very scared because there was not a soul and they had to cross
Mm-hmm.
this place. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow, amidst all this, they also told me there was a policeman who came and who saw them and said that, what a terrible state. I hope I could help you. But there
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely no vehicle and it was a very
Oh,
bad
okay.
situation. Nobody thought that
Uh-huh.
something could come out of it. And somehow
Uh-huh.
they reached the hospital and the doctor was not available, obviously on a dark night like that. So the
Mm-hmm.
midwife started attending to my mother
Mm-hmm.
and to get me out, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me that somehow it was wrongly done,
Mm.
because of which the shape of my head turned out to be flat. It
Flat.
maybe, yes, flat. The head came out flat,
Oh
and
my God.
apparently there was no place for my brain to grow. If I could, I would have shared pictures of how I looked as a baby. It was a pretty different thing altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyways, yes. And my mom tells me that they had consulted numerous doctors
Mm-hmm.
and they told them that, I cannot survive. I would only cry and cry and would not survive. And even if I did, it was guaranteed that I would be a mentally challenged child.
Oh my God.
So, considering that my eldest brother is mentally challenged, my mom must have been devastated. And she tells me the doctors had told them that they need to take me to some big hospital and do a surgery, probably to change the shape. That would give me a 10 years gap. And she says all that she did was pray. There was nothing else done. She said, my mom, my grandma, all that they only did was prayed and prayed and prayed for me. And today we're into my 30s as a professionally successful individual with two beautiful kids, a loving husband. I realized what a miracle my mom's prayer was. You know, when I meet people, when I go to my hometown and they look at me and they recognize me probably because of the shape of my head, how it was when I was a child. And, I hear the passing comments, oh, she's grown up to be this person, oh, this and that, she wouldn't have survived. How did it happen? I realized it was only due to my mom's prayers, nothing else. And it was a huge miracle. The miracle was only because of her prayers. And well, when people turn to look at my forehead, even now, and they tell it's of a different shape, it still has its difference. You can make out the forehead. The front part is a little flat and straight. So I say it's a trophy for the miracle called life, and that I won from God. This life I won from God, and there was nothing else on earth that could have saved me except for my mom's prayers and a miracle from God. So this is the wonderful miracle I wanted to share to you.
Andrea, I must that was the miracle of your mom's and your grandmom's prayers, because I
Yes.
have heard but and also seen few miracles in life, and as they say, prayers can literally manifest things, and also faith in God. There was a saying, faith can move mountains. So you are a miracle child. God bless you,
True.
dear.
It was indeed a miracle, and they never made me feel so. Even when I grew up, they treated me as somebody very precious, and probably that love and compassion and the desperate need arising from a mom's heart, that is what makes a child grow and become somebody in life. And I can totally guarantee that. I'm a living example for that.
Yes. Now, can you just tell me, you are working as a teacher now in Riyadh, and also you are freelance writer. How do you manage your work and things at home now that the kids are doing online schooling?
Okay. Well, it's mostly imbalanced, and that's probably the best balance. Frankly speaking, I feel that children are a gift from God, and now that I have taken the responsibility, it's my complete duty to attend to them and their needs. It does take a lot out of me to like wake up at sunrise and get things ready, get done with some fitness and start my work and then juggle through. But then,
Mhm.
end of the day, I am satisfied, and the peace that it gives me, that even through the struggles and the rough times, my children look up to me and I can be an ideal mother to them. At the same time, I am able to give the first half of my day to my work is a wonderful feeling. Also, not to forget, my husband has been equally participating in helping me with most of the things. So that is a very huge investment from his side, which has helped
Mhm.
me to carry on and pursue my work. And he is a great source of motivation as well, who keeps reminding me to go ahead and pursue my dreams. So all these things put together, it goes on, the balance, the imbalance, life, it
Yes.
moves on.
Right. And the support what you're getting, the
Yes.
motivation also is very important. Right.
Yes, he definitely keeps me motivated all the time.
Okay, after all these serious questions, I have a fun segment for you. It is called the rapid fire round.
All right.
Okay, and I will be asking you three random questions which you can answer in one word or a sentence. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so my first question is, what is that one thing in your bucket list which is like, still to do?
Okay, I've always wanted to ride an Enfield. Tried a couple of
Hmm.
times and fallen off. And
Okay.
I would definitely want to ride an Enfield. That is like a big thing on my bucket list.
Wow. Well, you will do someday. Yes, I'm so
Inshallah.
sure.
Let's hope so.
Inshallah, yes. Okay. So, who is your superhero?
My superhero would be my mom's elder sister. She's unmarried, and at that time, she was only source who got all the five sisters married and stood for them. And when my mom and dad were abroad, she's been there for me. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
that my mom's elder sister would be a superhero. I've always looked up to her. We call her Amma because that
Mm-hmm.
is what she means to us, and I've always looked up to her, and I think I'll always do.
Wow, such an amazing person. So now, if you have to define your life in one word other than the miracle, what would that be?
Well, this is quite challenging. One word to describe my life would be probably wild. Because it's been like, from looking wild to living it wild and fighting and hunting through life. I think that would be the ideal word for my life.
I like that. I like that. Wild. That is
That's
good.
how it's been. So,
Yes. I mean, it should be. Life should not be like the plain same old thing. Wild, adventurous, somewhere.
yes, I
Twist,
think every step
turns.
has been that way for me, always.
Yeah. Okay, that was the end of the rapid fire round. Your answers were amazing, and I don't have a hamper. Maybe someday when I meet you, I shall give it to you.
Well, it would be a pleasure to meet you, first of all. The hamper comes secondary. I would love to meet you someday.
Oh, same here, same here. Okay, now we have finished the rapid fire round. We enter into the last segment of our show where we ask your advice for our listeners.
Well, this comes from a part of my life, and something that I've learned is don't make assumptions. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people tend to look at the outer version of you and make assumptions. As a child, maybe I didn't understand this, and it used to be very painful for me, when people used to point out of my forehead or talk and,
Mm-hmm.
make assumptions and make fun. Gradually, obviously, you overcome it as you mature. But what I
Mm-hmm.
feel is every person has a path they tread on, and it's different from yours. So you never know what the person is going through and what life has in store. So you never make assumptions. Take time to know and then, maybe decide on what you think. That is what one thing I would like to tell the listeners, because everybody has hidden miracles in their lives, and because of the hidden miracles, they move forward with the hope and happiness in their lives. And it's not easy all the time. So maybe a smile from you and a appreciative look from you would mean a lot to another person than making assumptions. So that's what I would like to tell my listeners, your listeners rather.
We can say our listeners. Okay, yes, that was a wonderful advice from you. Assumptions, sometimes they are like judgments which we take in.
Living according to others' judgments, although we like it or not. So I think we
Yeah.
shouldn't give way for that. Everybody should be able to live their life just the way they want it.
Yes, of course. I totally agree on that. I'm totally on for it. Well, Andrea, it was lovely talking to you and having you on my podcast. And I have to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and doing this with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Fareen. I'm very glad to be one of the speakers in your wonderful show. May God bless you, show with amazing results. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Let your life also be filled with miracles, and so is the same blessing for all your listeners.
Oh, Amin, Amin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, listeners, if you have liked this episode, please click on the like button of the Limelight page. This podcast also will be available on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find. And if you want to know more about Andrea, I will give details. So thank you for listening and Allah Hafiz.